How many granny squares are there in this stack? Hey team, welcome to HD Designs Crochet, HGDC. I'm Heather and this is my channel all about the granny square, all about motherhood and all about being a creative business owner. Thank you so much for choosing this vlog. If you're brand new, hey, hello and welcome. And if you're returning, what's good, what's happening? I hope that you're tickety-boo. I hope that you've had some crochet time and that everything's okay with you. I am frantically crocheting on this sample, which is pattern 4 of my crochet collection, because I need to get this done, photographed, the pattern written up, it tech edited and testing started in 8 days time. Yep. Today's video is actually pretty damn cool, if I say so myself. Today's video is the idea was sparked from two things. One being this comment that I got, and the fact that my most viewed video on this channel is in fact my blanket stack that I did. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to recreate that, but I stopped making blankets, which was a really bizarre thing to do because I love making them and you lot loved seeing them. But I felt like to be a proper designer, I had to go and make other things. And then realised actually I'm just really happy making granny squares and blankets and granny square accessories and stuff. And now that I'm being even more authentic to myself, my brand is going places. So there is a deep lesson in there for you. Coming back onto the topic, I have wanted to do an update on my blanket stack for a while, and so that is what we're doing today. Now let me put this down. I have got a stack of blankets to go through with you. Ta-da! This is going to be the thumbnail. So grab yourself a crochet project, bonus points if it's granny squares. I feel like I say that a lot at the moment. It needs to be a caption. Bonus points if it's granny squares. And let's dive into it, shall we? Blanket number 1 is this beauty. This is my Heartstrings blanket. It is pattern number 1 of my crochet collection that I'm releasing this August 2023. And I got the inspiration for this pattern whilst I was having one of my other blankets photographed, and I actually started it in the car on the way home after that photo shoot. And honestly, like, I have got so much love for granny squares. I'm sure you know that now. And I love like the heart motif. So combining the two is absolutely, this is just me in a blanket. It's in double knit yarn. The cream is Pound Shop, and then this pink, the perfect pink of dreams, is actually from Wilkinson's in the UK. So if you are in the UK, get yourself down to Wilko. It's £1.50 for, or is it £1.95? It's really affordable, whatever it is. And I've used it for a lot of projects. You make the heart using continuous join as you go, and then you make a stack of granny squares, and then you use continuous join as you go to make the back, like to do the background as well. And then you finish it off with the signature HGDC scrappy border, which just brings it all together. And honestly, love it. I actually have made 2 of these. The second one is here. I'll put footage of it on screen. So that is blanket number 1 in my blanket stack. Blanket number 2 is this one. This was my inspiration for Heartstrings. This blanket is called Lovestruck. When my son was born, he was a couple of weeks old and I desperately wanted to crochet and I wanted to make something for him, and this design came about. Like, I love him so much and I wanted him to be wrapped up in granny squares. I wanted to show how much I loved him, and here it is. And whilst I was pregnant, I craved oranges, so I used all of the shade of oranges. I used the signature HGDC scrappy border, and it just makes this really cute baby blanket. And the amount of babies now that have this blanket, because my testers have made so many of them and gifted them on, honestly fills my heart. It's such a quick pattern to make, super easy to make, and one of them that I think like a new mum or an expecting parent would be really happy to receive, because it's so stinking cute and you can personalize it. You can use whatever colors you like. So this pattern is on my Etsy, my Love Crafts. It's on my Ravelry. I'll link it below if you want to get yourself a copy. And yeah, love this. And because I made this for Teddy, and I felt that I wanted, for my photo shoot for this pattern, I wanted a sample that hadn't been used, I made a new version, and then I ended up photographing this one as well anyway. So I actually made a pink version. Love it. This one is really on brand though. Like, my entire brand is pink, smiley faces, hearts. Lovestruck. You need to make it. That's as simple as it gets. You need to make it. My next blanket in my blanket stack, which is this pattern, is my favourite one. Oh, and it smells like my baby. Ah. This pattern is called Arrival. I designed this and made it when I was about 37 weeks pregnant for my son Teddy. It is a classic granny square blanket. It's using all of the scraps. You make a stack of 2 round granny squares, you join them using continuous join as you go, and then it has the signature HGDC scrappy border. This is where the border was born, and it just really ties it all together. I'm not one to do really big borders. Like, once the blanket's done, I'm done. So yeah. And this is the blanket that we put on him when he was born. It's what he slept under, it's what he came home under, like in the car seat, in his Moses basket. The first few nights when he was sleeping, this is what he used. And it's the one that he uses in his car seat during the winter. Not right now because it's like 28 degrees. It's the one that he uses in his cot. It's been the most used blanket. It's been washed, its ends are coming out. It's over a year old now. It's super soft. It smells like him. Honestly, like, this blanket means a lot to me, a lot. I I like to think that it's an heirloom and it's one that he will keep forever and that his children hopefully will also use, my grandchildren. And he knows that I made it him. Like, he picks up my granny squares and he plays with the granny squares, and then when he has granny squares he looks for this blanket and he's like this. He knows that I've made it. He also has other blankets that have been made for him by my mother and my grandmother, and so I do swap and change. We do use all of them, but I must admit this is the one I reach for the most. And I've taken it to baby groups with him, like when it says you need a blanket for them to lie on. This one to his sensory class, to his sign language classes, to his yoga classes, everything, baby massage. We've done so much and we've come so far. So many memories, not only in making it, but in using it. And I was saying to Brad the other day that, like, at some point he's going to get bigger than this blanket. So does that mean I need to make him another one? I can't bear the thought of trying to replace this. I like to think that he will always use this one and I'll just get him a bigger one as well. I also made multiple versions of this blanket and gifted it to expecting parents. So a family friend had her daughter the day after Teddy, so I made her a yellow, like scrappy but joined in yellow, and then her cousin was actually born the December before our children were born, and I felt like she needed matching, so she's got one that's completely pink, scrappy granny squares, and then joined in complete pink. And then I actually made a friend via Instagram whilst I was pregnant. We both had the same pregnancy condition, which is called hyperemesis, and her little boy was born, I think there's like 22 days or something between them, and I sent a blanket for Cove as well. His is the same, like scrappy, all the different colours in there. We both went with gender neutral, so I'm not bothered about it having pinks in there. And then Cove's is joined in more of like a beige, and then Teddy's got the cream. And then I made another one, which is here, for the photo shoot, again because I wanted something completely fresh in the photographs. And you can see, I think you can see, like, can you see this one's gone fluffy, it's bobbling. This one has been well loved and well used, and this one I'm keeping as a perfect like sample for the photo shoots. So yeah, that's my blanket stack. I finally made another one. This is my absolute favourite. It smells like him. You can get this blanket, I will link it below for you. It's available on my Etsy, my website, which is HGDesignsCrochet.co.uk, Ravelry. I think I've added them to Lovecrafts, and if not, it's on my to-do list to do it. So, which one is your favourite out of Arrival, Lovestruck and Heartstrings? And also, how many granny squares do you think is in this stack? You've got 2 samples of Heartstrings, you've got 2 samples of Lovestruck, and then you've got 2 samples of Arrival. How many granny squares are in there? How many granny squares are there in this stack? It's also mad if you think that I have actually made all of these in like the last year. And since then I've made more. So many more. And when you guess, let me know which blanket is your favourite. Okay? that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.